Hi, my name is Florian and I work as a personal consultant for Profile M. We're a North Rhine-Westphalia-based personal consultancy, mainly dealing with the potential analysis on the one hand and leadership development on the other hand. Today I'd like to zoom in on the essence of conflict and discuss with you and present to you the basic idea of conflict management. Metaphorically speaking, conflict is, a trespassing of territory, basically. We talk about mental territory. Each one of us, you, I, everybody has certain mental territory. What I mean by that is you have certain notions and expectations connected to these notions, which are important to you, right? So for instance, you expect others to appreciate you as a person. You expect others to appreciate the energy you invest in a certain idea or project of yours. Another mental territory might be you expect others to be very, very tolerant and very open-minded and potentially also very straightforward when it comes to ideas you do not agree upon, right? So mental territory is really very, very individual, a very individual question. And metaphorically speaking, is really somebody steps into your mental territory. That's the very essence of a conflict, right? Now, in the animal kingdom, there is different strategies. Either it's fight or flight, right? So if you just imagine you walk, you go for a stroll in the park, for instance, and all of a sudden you realize, okay, apparently I have steps into a dog's territory, and the dog does not particularly enjoy that, right? Appreciate that. So either, the strategy, as it were, of the dog would be fight, which is quite probable, or flight, on the other hand, right? In the human world, it's slightly more subtle, right? And we talk about mental territories, which I referred to before. But, basically the strategies and the reactions are kind of similar. It's either somebody attacks or flees, runs away, or defends himself. So there are similarities, there is mental conflicts, there is mental territory, and you're well advised to bear that in mind in conflict management, and there is different strategies which apply when you step into somebody's territory. Right, and this step before, we pondered upon mental territory, which is a very individual thing, and you're very well advised to bear this in mind, that there is different expectations to different notions, right, which are important to the conflict parties, and these might be different to yours, right? In the next step, I'd like to have a look at the very essence of conflict. So what is a conflict per se? Obviously, there is an opposition. There is one conflict party and there is another conflict party. Another essential point is that conflicts have an emotional aspect, right? And this emotional aspect is kind of generated or triggered by the mental territory we talked about before. So you have to be able to deal with a high level of emotion. That's another point. A third point is that conflicts cannot be resolved in a rational way on an argumentative level, using arguments only. Another point is conflicts cannot be ignored. Just imagine you have a neighbor, Mr. Smith, and Mr. Smith has a lovely cherry tree, at least he thinks he's got a lovely cherry tree, and there is a branch hanging over the fence of yours, which separates the two properties of Mr. Smith and you, and the cherries kind of fall onto your lawn, and this irritates you, considerably. And now you tell Mr. Smith, all right, could you please make sure to saw the branch, because I do not like all those, this pulp of cherries on my lawn. I'd appreciate that if you would, remove the branch to make sure that I don't have to deal with this issue. And now Mr. Smith ignores it. Now you will realize that this is not possible in order to resolve a conflict. So another essential point is that conflicts are not ignorable, or the conflict is not ignorable, for at least one party. Finally, another aspect of conflicts is that is two opposite poles, as it were. On the one hand, you have a continuation of the relationship with the conflict party, or with your conflict party. On the other hand, you may cease the relationship with the other conflict party, right? So there is this dynamic opposition of two different poles you have to be able to manage in conflict management.